Act 3. The Lotus Chamber. It's time to wake up. You've been sleepwalking again. You are located in the Lotus Chamber. The Lotus Chamber is whatever you want it to be. A paradisiacal beach, an opulent mansion, a fanciful wonderland. The Lotus Chamber is anything and everything. In the Lotus Chamber, no command is invalid. Go wild, fulfill your every desire. You've made it this far. You deserve it.
Boy, all that murdering I just did sure made me peckish.
You say. You find that you have the juiciest, tastiest cheeseburger ever cooked in your hands. You peel back the paper wrapping, and its aroma tickles your nostrils with pleasure. You take a bite, sinking your teeth through the soft bun and crunchy toppings as the perfectly cooked ground beef melts in your mouth. As you devour the last savory morsels of the cheeseburger, you lick your thumbs and file away the memory of this delectable meal as your very favorite thing you have ever eaten.
Sure, being a feudal lord pays the bills, but what I'd really like to do is be a military fighter pilot.
You say. You strap on your aviator helmet and approach your own personal Harrier jump jet. You strap yourself in and caress the flight controls. Before long, you become one with the clouds, performing all sorts of advanced aerial maneuvers, dancing across the sky. You have never had this much fun.
I grow weary of this multi-million-dollar aircraft. I shall now make my exit.
You say, yanking on the eject lever. You blast out of the cockpit and watch a sizable portion of the kingdom's tax income dive into the ground and explode. You somersault and tumble through the open air as the wind rushes over your face and limbs. As you approach the ground, you tug a ripcord and deploy your parachute. You gently step onto the ground and brush off your noble robes. By the way, you don't need to ask what you can do anymore. No command is invalid. The Lotus Chamber is not meant to be shared. You do not want to share it. The Lotus Chamber is yours.
That princess is such a bother. Why would I want her around? Besides, she surely wouldn't betray the dragon by leaving her tower anyway.
You ponder upon the subjectivity of the term trapped and the potential ramifications of making such wild assumptions.
Perhaps the princess has her own form of Lotus Chamber up in her tower.
You think.
Her tower is so great and safe and comfy, she must want for nothing. I'm sure of it.
Are you sure you want to leave the Lotus Chamber? Yes or no? You decide to leave the Lotus Chamber. You could return at any time if you so desire.
I made it to heaven and lasted mere minutes.
You say.
I wonder what that says about my character.
You are now in a big, barren field outside of the Lotus Chamber. You begin a pointless, tedious trek towards Fantasy Mountain.
Wow, I cannot wait to get curb-stomped by that dragon again.
You say.
He is so very cool and powerful. I wonder if he needs a manservant. I would make for an excellent manservant, or at least a tasty treat.
You arrive at the base of Fantasy Mountain. The smoldering ruins of a monastery lie beside you. Sitting atop the mountain, the Tower of Thraldom cleaves into the clouds. You scramble up the side of Fantasy Mountain. No climbing tools, no cable car, no shortcuts.
I'll climb this mountain with nothing but my bare hands.
You say.
You know why? Because I'm a short-sighted Luddite who refuses any and all assistance. That's why I left that Lotus Chamber.
It would be such a pity if you fell and broke your neck. Hand over hand, you inch your way up the sheer wall of granite. You begin to question if this task isn't better suited for someone else.
Surely there must be other, smarter, more capable adventurers that could make this climb?
Shouldn't someone else do this? Yes or no? You continue your climb. Your arms are getting heavy and every breath hurts your chest. You begin to question if this endeavor is even worth the effort.
Surely I could be directing this energy to other, more important matters.
Isn't this a waste of time? Yes or no? You look at the ground miles below you. What if you just let go right now? You could, if you wanted to. With a strange sense of satisfaction, you imagine yourself giving in and plummeting down.
Surely it would be fatal, but it would be so easy.
Isn't life meaningless? Yes or no? You heft yourself over the crest of Fantasy Mountain before rolling onto your back, heaving with exhaustion. For better or worse, you have summited. The Tower of Thraldom looms over you. Its base is made of a huge monolithic castle shaped like a cube. A pair of foreboding stone doors leading into the tower's base lies up a short road ahead. You approach the heavy stone doors of the Tower of Thraldom, but you are unable to enter. A large draconic lock prevents the doors from opening. The only way to open the draconic lock is with a draconic key. You do not have a draconic key. look for a draconic key for the draconic lock. To your great surprise, it appears that the formidable dragon does not store his draconic key immediately outside of his fortified lair. You hack at the doors with your wooden spoon.
Oh, why won't my cooking utensils slice through this heavy stone?
You say in frustration. You reluctantly retreat from the Tower of Thraldom and begin descending all the way back down Fantasy Mountain. You feel so sad, so sullen, so defeated. But you only have yourself to blame. You knew this was impossible from the outset. You are at the foot of Fantasy Mountain next to a big pile of monastic ashes.
Well, since the princess is truly off limits, I might as well drown my sorrows by making all my wishes come true.
You make the lengthy trek back to the Lotus Chamber and re-enter with excitement. You are located in the Lotus Chamber. In the Lotus Chamber, no command is invalid. Go wild, fulfill your every desire. You can do anything you want, but the princess can never come here. You add Draconic Key to your inventory. Are you sure you want to leave the Lotus Chamber? Yes or no? You decide to leave the Lotus Chamber.
I'm so pathetic and worthless.
You tell yourself. You are now in a big, stupid, barren field outside of the Lotus Chamber. You begin an imprudent, injurious trek towards Fantasy Mountain.
I am so very ignorant of my precarious circumstances. If I had any situational awareness at all, this is the very last direction I would be heading.
You say.
Unfortunately, for everybody's sake, I'm a self-absorbed ignoramus that ruins everything for everyone.
You arrive again at the base of Fantasy Mountain. The smoldering ruins of a monastery lie beside you, but this doesn't appear to alarm you at all because you've walked by this pile of rubble several times and haven't investigated them or even wondered why they are here or what they might signify. Sitting atop the mountain, the Tower of Thraldom cleaves into the clouds. You once again hoof it up the sheer granite cliff of Fantasy Mountain. This takes many, many grueling hours because you are too stupid to acquire climbing tools. Plus, you are extremely tired from climbing up and down so much already, and from generally being an exhausting, pig-headed individual. At the top of Fantasy Mountain, you again find the Tower of Thraldom. You have intense second thoughts about unlocking its heavy stone doors, because doing so would undoubtedly result in your pointless death. You pull the draconic key out of your arse and open the stupid draconic lock. You say a series of curse words for absolutely no reason.
Oh boy, that was fun.
You say.
I don't care at all for social norms or manners or what others generally expect of me.
Ever the intrepid explorer, you burst through the doors to the Tower of Thraldom. You head inside the tower and decide that yes, this is exactly where you need to be.
I wonder how quickly that dragon will crush my feeble little brain.
You say to yourself. No windows illuminate this massive hall. Arched columns are spread throughout the room like a squadron of soldiers about to execute you. Bloodstains blanket the floors. You come to terms with your unavoidable demise as you remember the stairs are guarded by the dragon. You put on your precious chainmail and wind up to attack the dragon with that puerile wooden spoon of yours. The red-scaled behemoth calmly grants his attention to you. "Why so hasty, Steve?" says the dragon. "Such aggression is so unbecoming of a nobleman like yourself. Perhaps we can settle our differences peacefully. Did that even occur to you? No? Well, let's talk about it." "Do you know how many times you performed the attack command, Steve?" asked the dragon. "No? Well, I counted. You have attacked over 100 times, Steve. Your life is nothing but one attack after another. Tell me, what are you hoping to gain from this perennial hostility? Are you seeking power, respect, love? You are long overdue for an important realization, Steve. Whatever it is that you are searching for is not within your grasp, and it never has been." "These objects of your desire are meant only for my hands. Unlike you, I have the strength to wield them. I am indomitable. I have zero weaknesses." "You can arm yourself however you please, but if you are hoping to discover any vulnerability on my part, you will be sorely disappointed." "There isn't a single path you can take to defeat me. I have grown my power to its absolute maximum." "You can unleash your trademark deluge of ineffectual attacks upon me all day, Steve. I will never die." "You will never defeat me. You will never rescue the princess. This happy ending you've dreamt for yourself has been impossible from the outset." "Your reckless actions and inattention have caught up to you, and now I will kill you." "So go ahead and attack me, Steve. Bring it on. I am not only ready, I am excited." Combat. Let our dance begin. Before you can move a muscle, the dragon leaps up into the air and flaps his mighty wings. He soars majestically underneath the vaulted ceilings of his fortress, weaving and spiraling between pillars. As he flies high above you, out of reach, he bolsters his strength by twirling through the air. Your laughably short attention span flitters to the pillars around you, instead of your ongoing battle with the dragon.
Oh boy, I love pillars. I love them so much, I'm going to disregard this powerful beast and climb one.
You say. You have so much fun climbing the pillar. The dragon continues gliding through the upper reaches of his lair as you cling to this pillar of yours. As he flies by you, he again bolsters his strength by twirling through the air. Your increased height above the ground allows you to leap onto the dragon's back.
Whee! I will ride upon the man-eating monster as if it were a common mule. I shall make this flying purveyor of death my noble steed,
you say. As you ride atop his back, the dragon decides to bolster his strength by twirling through the air. You hold on for dear life. Riding atop the dragon's back, you climb up his neck and begin jamming your wooden spoon up the dragon's nose.
Surely this dragon mucus will have some neat alchemical properties. I could open up the grandest apothecary in the kingdom if I were not to be shortly eaten alive,
you say. Scooping inside the dragon's nostril causes an intense draconic sneeze, causing the dragon to contort and become unbalanced. He begins tumbling out of the air. The panicking, disoriented dragon curls inwards as he hurtles towards the ground. He creates a protective barrier to mitigate the coming impact. You are still attached to the falling dragon's back. Fractions of a second before the dragon hits the ground, you leap off the side and somersault out of the way. You still sustain falling damage, but avoid being crushed by the dragon's massive frame. The flailing behemoth skids across the chamber floor, crashing through pillars, stones, and piles of night corpses. The enraged dragon turns his attention to bolstering his strength. He lays his head down next to the corpse of a dead knight and swallows it whole. As the dragon opens its gape to feast upon flesh, you decide to chuck your wooden spoon as hard as you can into the dragon's mouth.
Well, that was bloody useless. Why on earth did I do that?
You say.
However, he soon starts desperately clawing at his throat and gagging. The dragon points his head upwards and begins vomiting acidic fire profusely into the air like a toxic volcano. The massive eruption of scalding, caustic dragon fire splatters across the chamber as you take refuge behind a pillar. The dragon engulfs himself in his own fiery demise. You hear the thud of the dying Leviathan collapsing to the ground, followed only by the sound of sizzling dragon scales. The dragon is defeated. You find the following loot: Dragon AI. Dragon AI was destroyed.
You see the princess descending the stairs from her tower. She rushes over to the dragon's lifeless body, looking it over with a mix of relief and incredulity. "It's done. He's dead," she says. "I'm free." The princess begins pacing around the dragon's gargantuan remains, still trying to take it all in. It's a strange feeling. I've dreamt of this day, dreamt of dancing upon the dragon's grave. I thought all of my uneasiness and anxieties would instantly melt away upon learning the bastard was finally dead. But now that it's really happened, some part of me just refuses to accept it. I feel like at any moment he's just going to reappear and hurt me again. Maybe it'll just take a while for it to truly set in that I'm finally actually safe. I've just spent so long in that damn tower. Well, healing is a choice, isn't it? So then I am going to heal, because I said so, and everything will finally be okay. I'm finally free! Thank you, Steve. Thank you. I'm ready. Let's get out of here.
You offer the princess your hand, and the two of you walk side by side out of the Tower of Thraldom together. Epilogue.
The princess emphatically shuts the doors to the Tower of Thraldom behind her. She closes her eyes and takes a prolonged breath of outside air.
You ask the princess how she intends to utilize her newfound freedom.
She ponders for a moment. For so long I dreamt of running my own tavern, and you know what? I heard there's a nearby village with a newly vacant tavern. Something about the owner losing his mind and trying to murder a nobleman. I suppose you wouldn't know anything about that. The two of you begin your descent down Fantasy Mountain. The princess insists you take the circuitous, scenic route, made even longer as she deviates to touch and admire nearby trees and plants.
Dear princess, I have brought you a gift, you say. You pull out Keith the friendly crocodile from your inventory and bequeath him to her.
Oh my gods, thank you, screams the princess. She hugs Keith tightly. I'm so glad you're all right. She puts him in her own inventory, where the other stuffed animals throw him a homecoming parade, featuring plenty of Tanning Brew ale.
As you continue hiking together, you spot a bird soaring over the tree line towards you. You both have a strange familiarity with the creature, but neither of you can come up with a reasonable explanation as to why. The parrot's feathers are blue on her back, pink on her wingtips and head, and white on her underside.
Popcorn?
Says the parrot as she lands on the princess's shoulder.
Lenny, is that you? Says the princess. You've been reborn, or rehatched, I suppose? Well, however you did it, your new form needs a new name. The princess retrieves a piece of popcorn from her inventory and feeds it to the parrot, who shreds into it gleefully. I had a feeling I'd see you again, Leonora.
You reach the bottom of Fantasy Mountain to find a crowd awaiting your arrival. As the two of you come into view, the welcoming party erupts into applause.
The princess sees her father, the king, and runs over to reunite with him. The king maintains a dignified composure, but gives you a knowing, thankful nod as he embraces his daughter. Your quest is completed.
Among the crowd, you see the following friends. Tutorial Terry has brought a class of children along with him. He excitedly points you out to his class.
You see that fellow over there? You could grow up to be a hero just like him.
Hagen and his other dwarf pals are in attendance. They have yet to even notice your triumphant return.
No, fellas, you can't refine mithril with the Bessemer process. That method barely even works on steel.
Mary and Martha, the sisters known as the homonymous Wardens of Spirits, are here as well. Mary stares vacantly at the horizon, while Martha excitedly rants about something called integer overflow, whatever that is. Don, the adventuring entrepreneur from over yonder, approaches you.
Congratulations on your successful quest. Now it's time to maximize social awareness of your courage and valor. Do you have time to discuss a post-adventure outreach campaign?
You decline. Finally, you see your mom and lovingly give her that long-awaited hug. She tells you how proud she is of everything you've done and every part of who you are. Your journey is complete. Type win game to complete TavernQuest. Congratulations! You win TavernQuest.